Welcome back. We've completed the swan. Great job. Now we're going to take it to the next level. We are talking about the new style of latte art, and we're going to start off with the monkey. Now, the new style of latte art has the same premise. You have to learn how to manage your milk and your foam. Your foam is going to be crucial for your drawing skills when you get to the top of your cup, and also cup movement. Imagine you have half of a picture done. You're gonna have to get used to moving your cup whilst half of it is still there. Things to look out for: get used to doing it slowly. If you do it too fast, the picture will kind of go on one side and you can ruin it. You can't take it too slow, because if you go to pour it, your milk will just sink in unless you're just using foam. Okay, so as always, we're gonna start off at the top. And this is a slow process. You're gonna have to mix in very slowly. You're trying to create a nice base for your foam to lay on. And you wanna fill it with milk 3/4 full. So just milk and foam. One of the hardest things will be this. Will be coming at the end when you're gonna start drawing your picture, and not only foam comes out, but also some milk, and you'll overspill it because it's so full. You can only have enough space for just foam and not foam and milk, like the Rosetta or the swan or the tulip or the heart. So that's one of the hardest things to master. So when you're mixing in, just make sure only milk's coming out, and keep an eye on the bottom of your jug and see your foam. So we're gonna start off with, on the side, a tulip stack. On the practical, I will show you when to twist your jug, your cup, sorry, and when to do when. So we're gonna go with the 1, 2 stack. Come here on the side, on the edge of the cup, and we're gonna go with Rosetta number 1. Then starting here, Rosetta number 2. And then Rosetta number 3, you're always starting on this point. So back to this. And with this Rosetta, you're gonna go in the middle and then bring it to the left. When you're done with this, you're gonna have you should have only foam left. This takes a little bit of milk and a lot of foam. The next part will only have to be foam. Just have to make sure of that. So step number 1, the tail. So you start here and you draw the tail. Then you're gonna go to the end, to the head. The head is the hardest part of this, because you're gonna have to have a rotating motion with your jug and your foam. Make sure you take your time with this. You see where your foam's gonna hit the cup. Mind you, your jug's gonna be so close to the milk, almost touching. So it's gonna go like this, and then just like another motion, and that'll give it its eye. And that will be step number 7. And then you're gonna give it legs. So you're gonna go this way and straight out, and then this way and straight out. Then you're gonna come up here, and you're gonna make his third arm reach one of the rosettas as he's hanging from a tree. And that is step number 10. Step number 11 is to create a foam bubble on his hand to replicate food. And either side of these is fine. You're gonna create 3 blobs, 3 bubbles. And that would be coconuts or something similar. And that is the monkey. All right, here we go. We start high, really managing my milk, making sure at the end I only have foam. I'm gonna start about now. Go for the first and second stack. Coming to the side. Number 1 Rosetta. Number 2. And number 3. I'm gonna start with the tail, the head, 2 arms. Third, making sure it's got something to eat. And just the 3 blobs at the end here. Now that is a pretty good advanced example. I'm gonna do another one without talking to show you what the final product should look like. All right, poured my second monkey, and we'll talk about what I'm happy with and what I'm not happy with and what you should be aiming for once you're there. So the rosettes are fine. They're not great, but they're fine. The way that they place, it gives enough room for the rest of the monkey. The 2 tulips are a bit too big, takes up a bit of a cup, and it's hard to make its body with it. Also its head, not sure what happened there, but it's something to practice. The tail came out nice, and so did the blobs, even though I didn't add the 3rd blob, only because the tulip was a little bit too big. So the hardest thing to master will be the head, and probably the best way to practice is on takeaway coffees. The best type of takeaway coffee is probably the smallest size you have, because it's got the same diameter but shorter cup, easier to pour into. So yeah, it's just all about the foam hitting your milk and making sure that nothing sinks in so it doesn't look bad, and just to proportion the size of the bodies and your tulips and rosettes. And with practicing with takeaways, the reason behind that is if you're trying to do this stuff, you probably, and you should be able to be doing swans and rosettes and tulips. And if you're taking coffees out and you're already smashing out latte art, them swans out to impress your customers, and keep practicing on your takeaways until you can get kind of a similar image as this. This is not perfect, but it's almost there. So this is something that you could be able to send out, but make sure you send it out when you're at this position, if you can do the swans. And with these harder latte art patterns, make sure you do practice on takeaway cups, because you can put a lid on it and cover it if you screw up, until you can get a great picture and send it out to a customer.